Hi everyone, my name is Lea and I really like to crochet. Normally I like to knit, but in this video I'm going to crochet something. Funny, am I? Do you remember when I knitted this Urla bandana? I knitted this with some leftover cotton yarn. This is the Grindle Cotton Fun in this really lovely yellow color. And I still had a few skeins laying around once I finished the Urla bandana. I was brainstorming a little bit what I could do with it. Definitely some kind of summer project. Randomly one day I was browsing through my For You page on Instagram actually. Normally I'm not really looking there, but randomly on that day I did. And I found something that really catched my eye, and that was the siren dress by Crochet Faries. I've linked their Instagram profile in the description as well as the siren dress pattern, of course. It catched my attention because the pattern pictures have the same color as the yarn I have. I had a look at the pattern page and thought, why not try my luck with this dress? So we're crocheting this one. I'm excited to see where this project will take me, and I hope you are as well. Let's start. Oh, and I forgot to mention one thing. I will try to adjust the design a little bit. This dress is more in the low rise part for the beginning of the skirt, and I like my clothes a little bit more on the high-waisted part. It just fits my body type way better. So I'll want to adjust that. And another thing I forgot to mention is that I'll be using a 3.5mm hook. Now I've mentioned everything I wanted to tell you. Let's go. I started this project so spontaneous. Not even 24 hours ago, I didn't even know this pattern existed. And now I'm making this, or at least I'm trying, and together we'll see what I can crochet over here. So I took all my measurements today. The pattern calls for a few measurements, and then you basically have to go straight in the cold water. You're starting with the bust section, and you have to chain up a few stitches that are dividable by a certain number. And I did that. I haven't even checked the measurement when I hold it against my bust. It fits really well. The bust part is crocheted in the so-called lemon peel stitch. I've crocheted that one before, so it's quite easy. It's just single crochet, double crochet, single crochet, double crochet, then you turn it over, and everywhere you did a single crochet, you do a double crochet, and so on. Let me show you how much I currently have. So not that much to see. This is the current rectangle situation. It is 42 centimeters wide. And what were my measurements? I believe 44, so I'm 2 centimeters short, but when I hold this against my chest, it fits really well. It goes on both sides perfectly underneath my underarm. And now I basically have to do the lemon peel stitch until I reach the width. The length is, I believe, the word I'm searching for. A little bit more to go. Hopefully the rest of the project will be as smooth of a sailing as it currently is. So I think I finished the bust part of my siren dress. This is how it's looking. With the lemon peel stitch. Yeah, it's a rectangle. So this is around what it will look like. I originally wanted it to be 14 centimeters in height, but I've gone now for 15 to have a little bit more coverage. So now I had a look at the pattern, what I have to do next, and it's recommended to practice the next stitch, which is the crown stitch. I've never done that before and it looks really complicated. Then just finish the bottom part of the top. So pray for me that I'll get the hang of it. I finished the first pattern repeat for the crown stitch, and this is how it's currently looking. You are waiting for the butt. And there's one coming. I'm fighting for my life with this pattern. It's not the pattern's fault, it's just I'm not used to crochet, and then I'm reading what I have to do with all these abbreviations. It's a bit overwhelming, not gonna lie. But lucky for me, there's also a YouTube tutorial for the crown stitch made by the pattern designer, which helps a bit. It may not look like much, but I really was fighting for my life with it, and I'm glad I finished the first repeat. So now I have to do this all over again, and I most definitely won't have enough yarn for the whole dress. Let me get all the yarn I have for the dress. I have these 3 cute cakes. This is a very dense cake actually. I most definitely won't get the whole dress done with it, especially not a 2-tier layered skirt. So we'll have to see what we're doing with that. I'll just wing the whole pattern, see what I can get. Maybe I can finish everything except for the second layer of the skirt. We'll see. This is just a project to finish all my scrap yarn, so I really hope I don't have to buy anything new. The cool thing is that you know what I'm gonna do, because I probably have it in the title, if it's a dress or a top. So I envy you. So today I can hopefully do the second crown stitch repeat, maybe get the hang of the pattern repeat a little bit better. Practice makes perfect is what they say, I believe. I don't know. And yeah, I have a new Love Island UK episode to watch, and I believe 2 new episodes for Love Island USA. So I'm quite the busy girl today. It's been around 1.5 hours later, maybe, and I finished the second repeat of the crown stitch. This looks really cool, right? This time it was easier. Not way easier, but it was easier for me. So that was a win. And I think I keep the top at 2 repeats because I want to have the dress be high-waisted. And I was immediately overwhelmed a little bit. There's so much going on. And of course it's a detailed pattern, but it really overwhelmed me. So I'm taking a break for today. The next thing I'm gonna do is do the side panels for the top so that I can close it later. And there's actually a little bit of calculating involved with a formula, but this seems quite easy. I also saw some mentioning of elastic thread when I scrolled a bit further down, but that's no problem. Oh god. It looks really overwhelming for me. I think I have enough of crochet today, and now I'm gonna do a few other things. I felt a rush of motivation and I did the side panels. Doesn't look like much. I picked up 41 stitches and my X value for the formula was 17, I believe. Now I have 3 little holes here for the straps later to go in. Same for the other side. I held the top against my chest and it's pretty backless. I don't mind that. After the sides, the pattern does the straps, but I'm not feeling them yet. So what I'm gonna do next is to block the top. It is recommended in the pattern. I won't weave in any ends, just in case I need to go back anytime. And once it's dry in a couple days, I can start with the waistband and the skirt, and we'll see how far we get with the few skeins of yarn I have left. I went on a hike this morning for 4 hours in the pouring rain all by myself. That was definitely an experience. And I don't think I will ever do that again. All in all, I feel good. So I'm also feeling prepared for my hiking weekend in 2 weeks. It is, I believe. Yes, in 2 weeks. But I just sat down and worked a little bit on my siren dress, and now I want to give you an update because I did a few things which I want to talk you through, if I can. Yesterday evening I started crocheting in the round, and it is currently looking something like this. Yeah, it looks a bit wild. I started yesterday with a very long chain, which I connected on both sides, so that I can work in the round, and I chained up 72 stitches. This is, I believe, the exact same amount I chained up for the top. And then I took some small elastic, which I have, it's currently crocheted inside the top, and put it around my waist and cut it so that it sits comfortably, and it was around 62 centimeters. And then I basically crocheted it inside with a few half double crochets, and all in all I had 145 stitches. I had to sneak in a few. I don't know what happened there, but I had to sneak in a few stitches so that I can work in the pattern. And my X value for the formula was 12. Then I did the increases, and after that I started with the first crown repeat. Currently looking like this. But the reason why I wanted to film instead of me doing a few more rounds, I realized I did something wrong. So I have to go back and undo the whole round, which is very sad. I have this much left of one of my skeins. Oh, by the way, I found one more little skein of this yarn in the apartment, which was quite a nice surprise. So I have a bit more yarn and a little bit less to worry about if I have enough. What is nice for this pattern is that there's also a little video tutorial for connecting the crown stitch in the round. But the only critique I have for that is that it is filmed as a short, a YouTube short, so I can't fast forward or go back with my arrow keys on my keyboard, but that's a me thing. So I just have to click with the mouse. Yeah, I'm trying my best. I'm trying my best with it. I'm having fun. I think this looks cool. I firmly believe that this will fit me and probably will look very good. But we'll see. So this is quite a fun journey so far. My first crochet dress. Hello! I am here to give you a little update on my siren dress. So far it's more of a siren top, but it looks really good in my opinion. So I just finished the, what is it? The 4th crown repeat since inserting the waistband, and I am now on my last and biggest skein of the cotton yarn so far. I just weighed it. The dress itself weighs around 170 grams. And this ball is around 90 grams. So I'll definitely get a few more rounds of the crown stitch in, but it will probably not be a dress, more like a top. But I'm also contemplating of maybe getting a little bit more of this yarn, because so far I'm really liking this and I would love to finish it. But first I just really want to see how far I can go with this much yarn left. If I get to a dress length, perfect. If not, I'll maybe frog it and just get a cute top out of it. But before I start with my 5th round of the crown stitch, I want to cut the yarn and finally do the straps, just so that I can really try it on. I really got the hang of the pattern in the round. I still have to look at the tutorial every time I'm finishing a round. But before I continue crocheting my siren dress, I want to do something else, because I have this list of things I want to do for the longest time in my head. And yesterday I sat down and wrote down everything I need to do. These are just things on my to-do list that I've never come around to do so far. Things like organizing this room, a few other things. I also really want to dust off my PC. It's been over a year since I've done that last, so it's really time for that. And for that I'll put it on the balcony. I have a little device that blows air into the PC and all the dust will go right away. And the last thing I want to do, and this is what we're gonna do today, now, any second, is that I want to clean out my closet. It's finally time. Every time I'm opening this bad boy, I'm just in a bad mood. I have a few clothes. I'm constantly knitting new clothes. But what I'm talking about is jeans and trousers I'm not wearing anymore, so I want them to go. And what I like to do when I clean out my closet or clean out anything is I really like the Marie Kondo method. She's basically a Japanese person that wrote a book about her cleaning method and basically to throw everything out that doesn't spark joy. Back then, when her book and her show on Netflix went viral, I also read her book, and since then I have a whole different perspective of my clothes. I'm more mindful about them and it's way easier for me to get rid of something. So I basically will put out everything I have in my closet, look at it, see if it sparks joy. If it does, I'll put it on one stack. I have two different stacks, one for the trash and another for the donation bin. And this is what I really want to do today. And you will come with me. I'm not showing you everything and we're gonna be productive now. Yeah! We have a heat wave at the moment. Yippee! And what better thing to do on a heat wave than to just go outside for a hike? Well, I did that this morning, but I started at around 7:30 because today I did my last 10-kilometer hike before my hiking weekend next weekend in the Harz. And I did these 10 kilometers in around 2.5 hours. And I'm feeling very good. It wasn't too warm, but it was definitely getting warmer when I was almost at home. So I'm glad I'm home now. While I was on my hike, I read on my Kindle. This is really cool because up until today, when I was on a hike, I am guilty to say that I was mostly on my phone, maybe watching some TikToks, going on Reddit. I have to keep my mind a bit distracted. I can listen to music for like maybe 30 minutes or so, but then I will reach a point where I really want to go home. And when I keep my mind distracted, I don't have that. So because I used my Kindle today this much, I got inspired to talk about the book I'm currently reading. Ooh, little spoiler. And I want to tell you about my Kindle setup. Because this is really cool. Bear with me, please. I have jailbroken my Kindle. I'll talk about this in a second. The book I'm currently reading is The Caretaker by Marcus Cleaver. And I saw a recommendation about this book on TikTok. I often get book recommendations there, and I screenshot a few so that I can later look them up on Goodreads to see if they're fit for me or not. You may know that I'm currently in somewhat of a reading slump. Been there for quite some time now, and I really want to get out. So I started this book yesterday evening, read a little bit before going to bed, and today I've read some more. The book is a horror thriller book, and I'm 33% in. Read most of that today, and it's really good so far. It keeps my interest, and it is basically about a very broke girl that's desperately looking for a job. So this protagonist finds an ad on Craigslist about some caretaking job for someone, and she sets up an interview with the owner of the house. It's a woman, and during the interview she basically says, "Hey, I kinda lied to you. My husband's actually dead. This is actually a house sitting job for 1 weekend." So the girl says, "Okay, what? What is going on?" And the woman then tells her that her dead husband had a few strict rules about the house, like the lights turn on during a specific time during the night and you have to immediately turn them off. And this really intrigued me. Between 6 p.m. and 6 a.m. it could be that there's someone knocking on your door. This creature, He called them the visitors. They can look like any ordinary person. It can be an old grandma looking for a cat or an officer with a search warrant, but she can identify these visitors by their eye color. This isn't really a spoiler in my opinion, because this is really early on mentioned in the book. And this really reminds me of the video game No, I'm Not a Human, which I also found very good, where you also have to identify real humans and the creatures that want to kill you when you let them inside your house. So I'm really looking forward to reading more of this book. I really want to get a few pages in. That was really long. So I now want to tell you a little bit about my Kindle setup. Feel free to skip ahead if you're not interested in this. First off, I have a little pop socket on the back. It's quite nice to handle this thing now. Also a few stickers, which I DIY'd 3 years ago. Found them on Pinterest, printed them out and made stickers out of them. This is a Kindle Paperwhite, I believe. It originally had ads on it, and it was quite slow when I was reading it, and often just shut down for no apparent reason when I was reading it. And I was really looking into a different e-reader, and I really liked, or still like, the Kobo reader, is it, I believe, with the color display. I was this close to buying one, because besides a color display, it has also reading stats for you. I like this stuff really. And this Kindle had ads on the display, which I hated, but you could spend some money on Amazon to don't have any ads on it. But I didn't want to spend money on this. And quite literally a few days before I was actually probably going to buy myself a Kobo reader, I had this very amazing YouTube video by Dammit Jeff on my homepage on YouTube. And it's basically about how to de-Amazon your Kindle and make the reader really yours. So this inspired me to actually jailbreak my Kindle. I will link a few tutorials and all the plugins I'm talking about in the description if you're interested in this. I highly recommend jailbreaking your Kindle. Make it yours, customize it to your liking. So I jailbroke it. And then I installed something called koreader, which is basically the reading software now. And then I installed a plugin which is called Simple UI. The name speaks for itself. It simplifies the user interface for the koreader. So first of all, I have the current book I'm reading on the lock screen, which is very cool. You can customize it to any other thing. You can customize your reading stats on it or a wallpaper on there. You can do so much with it. But I wanted the current book I'm reading on the lock screen. So let's go over here for a second, then I can show you a little bit better what my little setup looks like. So over here I have the time and the date. I like that. Here I have the current book I'm reading with the percentages and also how many days I'm reading it and how much time I've read this book so far. And then down here I have a few stats. How many times I've read this day, my current streak, 0 books finished, me being in a slump. And down here I have recent books. Here we have a few manga, I'll talk about this in a second. Down here I have the navigation bar. Here I have the settings, my library, where I have all my books. And then I can swipe through all of them. And here you can see a little tab which is called manga. This is another plugin I'm using. This is called the Rakuyomi. It's basically a manga reader. I just installed this yesterday. I like to read manga now and then, and it's cool to use it on my Kindle. I would love it if I could inspire you to jailbreak your Kindle. This is nothing illegal. This is your device. You can do with it what you want. It's also very easy. You can find so many amazing tutorials. I'm telling you this because I would have seen this in a knitting vlog. I would be inspired to do this, so that's my reason behind talking about this. I'm passionate about this, and I want to talk about things I'm passionate about on this channel, and maybe even inspire a few people out there. This would be so cool. So, yeah. Like I said, nothing illegal. This is your device. Now we go back to my little project. I have no idea where it is. Let me check. So I've made a little bit of progress. I took this project yesterday to the office with me actually and knitted 1 or 2 rounds there. This is how much yarn I have left. I think after this round I have to do another round and then I have finished the repeat. But what I actually wanted to show you is that I have attached straps. I chained up 200 75 stitches. They are long enough, but when I tried it on, I realized that the elastic that I crocheted in could be a little bit tighter. So what I probably will do once I finished this dress is that I go back in, pull a bit from the elastic out, cut it and sew it together for a better fit. This dress fits me, but of course it's very see-through. I'll have to see how realistically I can wear this. This could be, of course, like a beach cover-up or something. I'm really liking this. I'm actually a little bit inspired to maybe crochet something else in the near future, maybe a top, maybe another dress. I'll keep my options open. I already mentioned this quite a few times, but in exactly 1 week, today is Friday. Next weekend on Friday, I'll meet up with 2 friends in the Harz for a hiking weekend. We have an Airbnb booked. I'm really looking forward to this. And I want to bring a project with me. I don't want to bring this. And I have another knitting project currently on my needles, but this is way too complicated to bring it with me anywhere. But what I decided on my hike actually is that I want to lock in this weekend and the next couple days to finish this, or to finish the skein of yarn and see where we're at. Then start another project that I can bring with me. Maybe a pair of socks. This would be actually quite cool. We'll see. So the plan for today is to work on this dress, maybe get a few more rounds, and I will make myself some lunch in a minute. And what I also want to do today, or this weekend at least, I told you about my to-do list I have with things that are always in the back of my mind, and one of them was to organize my room. This won't be taking me that long actually, so I want to get it done maybe today, maybe tomorrow. Yeah, I've been yapping for 30 minutes, dear Lord. Okay, yeah, thank you. So I'll keep you posted about my book. I mean, of course, my project. Yeah, I'm funny today. I'll keep you posted about my project. And again, thank you for listening to my Lea Likes to Knit podcast segment of this vlog. It's still the same day, still Friday. I'm currently wearing the dress. I tried it on after finishing the, I believe, 6th repeat of the crown stitch for the skirt. And I'm really liking this. I'm not gonna show you because I don't want to flash you. It's quite see-through. And I've come to a point of realization that I want to finish this dress with a 2nd tier for the skirt. And you know what that means? I need to get a little bit more of this yarn. I just looked it up and I bought this yarn in October 2019. It's been a while and now I'm finally using it. But back then I bought a pack of 10 skeins and I don't need 10 skeins of this yarn. And the brand itself sells single skeins on their website. It's from Kindle. I think I will buy 2 to 3 skeins more. I will look on the internet a little bit more to see if I can maybe find an even better deal for the yarn. I want to block the dress a 2nd time, see how it's going lengthwise. I definitely need 1 or 2 more repeats of the crown stitch for the main skirt, my 7th repeat of the skirt, and see how far I can get with this much yarn. This is around 33 grams. I'm very much excited to see how much more coverage a 2nd tier of the skirt will give me. Not that much, I know, but I have some biker shorts that I can wear underneath. We'll figure something out. Okay, ordering the yarn, see how far I can get with this yarn. Block the dress, wait for the yarn, finish the dress. I will see you soon. The heatwave is still going on, but lucky for me it's quite cool in this apartment. In my last apartment I would have been dead by now. I ordered 4 new skeins of the Kindle fun cotton yarn. They will take up until next weekend to arrive. Maybe if I'm lucky before that. The dress is currently blocking and drying in the living room, and I can't wait to work on it some more. I still have some yarn left. I could work a little bit more on that, but I will put the project on hold until the new yarn is here. So today is Sunday and my room is a little bit of a mess, and I told you I want to organize it this weekend, so I'm going to do that now. I have so much stuff on my sewing desk. A knitting project I'm currently working on. It's a very complicated one, color work. I have another knitting project, a smaller one, color work here on my desk. Just a little bit of clutter everywhere, and I want to organize it. And I'm going to start today with this corner over here where my cardio bike is and my other cardio equipment. I'll see you again once the new yarn has hopefully arrived. It is the next day, Monday, and we have good news and we have bad news. The good news is that my yarn has already been shipped, so it will probably arrive before Friday, which would be great because on Friday I'll be leaving for the weekend. And the bad news is that we still have a heat wave going on and it's so hot outside. And also it will be very hot up until 36 degrees, I believe, for my hiking weekend. So yeah, we'll see about that. But just because it's very hot outside, I still want to get a few things done. And I thought the next thing that would be very fun for me to do is to finally clean my PC. And I thought I'll take you along with me. This will be in eco terms satisfying and disgusting just because I haven't cleaned my computer in a year. Normally I do this every 6 months, but with the move last year and I just forgot about it. But the thing now is that I look into my PC every day because it has a glass panel on the side. I finally want to fix it. I'll have to shut down the PC, unplug everything, and then go on the balcony and clean it. So let's go. So the first point on the agenda is to, open the thing. And now to the very fun but also very loud part. I should also remove the other side panel. I forgot about this. I think we're done. So back inside. And then I can put it back. Every time I do this, I forgot which way. Then I can just snap it back. Turn the PC once again, carefully, like this. Careful with the cables, just like this. Zack, zack. And it's done. This took me like 20 minutes. So if you have a PC or a laptop, this is your sign to finally clean it. We still have a heat wave going on in Germany and in Europe in general. It's so goddamn hot. I'm not sure if we're going to survive our hiking weekend in the Harz. We'll see about that. So today's Wednesday and I just found this somewhat demolished package at my front door. It's the yarn I ordered. So it arrived 2 days early. So this is what the Grindel Cotton Fun looks like in its original form with the label. Color, by the way, is the number 4. So the dress is dry and blocked, and I'm gonna try it on, see if I like the length or if I add another crown stitch repeat. For the first day of the skirt, I want to work on the siren dress up until Friday when we leave for the hiking trip. It's been a few days since I worked on the dress and I completely forgot how to do the crown stitch, so I have to look that up again. But I'm excited to crochet again. And now I'm gonna get some ice cream. So I tried the dress on, and the skirt has a perfect length. So I can start with the second tier skirt. What I also realized is that I need to make the straps a bit longer, because I not only want to tie it at the bust part, I also want to tie the rest of the top part of the dress with where the 2 crown stitch repeats are. I think this looks just a little bit better. And I also have to see what I can do to make the elastic a little bit tighter. I don't know, maybe the elastic wasn't really good, but it's not really stretchy. It fits me, but I want to feel a little bit secure and I want to have stretch. So maybe I cut off a little bit of the elastic, sew it together one more time. And also do the other option that is mentioned in the pattern for elastic thread, because I also have that. We'll see. I had a very quick look at the pattern, what I now need to do. And of course I'm overwhelmed, but I'll just take my time, read it, look at the pictures, and I will figure this out. But I have to wait a few more hours because my lunch break is over in around 5 minutes and I still have some work to do. It's been 1 week since I last gave you an update. The hiking weekend was, under these circumstances, quite the success, I would say. We had fun. I'll talk about it a little bit more in my next knitting vlog because I brought another project with me. I currently have this much. I'm currently on my 4th repeat for the top part of the skirt. The skirt currently looks like this, very cute. I will do at least 2 more repeats, so 6 in total, and then try it on and figure out if I like it, or if I add another one. Maybe I'll even add only 1 last repeat than I did for the first tier of the skirt. So I have crocheted around, what did I say? 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah. I'm currently on the 4th repeat, and this is how much I have left for my second skein of the Drops cotton fun yarn. So I have 2 more. So I ordered enough yarn, hell yeah. Now comes the fun part, at least for me. I set myself a deadline for this project because I want to wear this on Saturday. And today is Wednesday. Because on Saturday I want to wear this dress for another creamy dinner, which me and a few friends will be having. Me and my boyfriend hosted a creamy dinner in the beginning of the year. It's basically a role-playing game and you have dinner together, and we'll be having this again on Saturday while we go camping. And it's a camping scenario for the role-playing dinner, and the role I'm playing would definitely wear this dress, so it would be perfect for that. So I really need to finish it. I tried to do 2 more rounds of the crown stitch repeat, try it on, then I have 2 less than the underskirt. I have to weave in all the ends. I have to fix the elastic situation, make the straps a little bit longer. So I just docked out of work, and before I can start crocheting on my siren dress, I have to go outside and run 1 or 2 errands. But once I'm back, I can finally watch a little bit of Love Island. I still have a few episodes to catch up on, and while I'm doing that, I can start crocheting on my siren dress. Hi, I'm currently marinating some sock curls because it's Friday, and later this evening I have the summer event from my work and I'll get picked up in around 4.5 hours. Up until then, I will wear some socks in my hair for some heatless curls. Yesterday evening I finished the last crown stitch repeat for the top tier of the skirt, and I also sewed in all the ends and made the strap a little bit longer, and I put it on and I realized I want the underskirt one repeat longer. So I just finished that, and I will now try it on again, see if I like the length more, how it harmonizes with the upper skirt. Maybe I'll need another repeat for that, but all in all, I'll definitely finish this dress and can wear it tomorrow. Point of action is to finish this dress today. And by the way, really glad I bought 4 skeins of the Drops cotton fun yarn. At first I thought this was a little bit overkill. I actually thought about only ordering 2 skeins, but this is how much I have left of the 4th skein. So after that I won't have any more. So I'll probably get 1 more crown stitch repeat out of it. So you will probably see me for the final reveal and my final thoughts for the siren dress pattern. I'll be leaving the house in around 2.5 hours, and I need to be delusional for a second. I'm still working on the dress. I just finished round 3. I just need to do 2 more rounds, and I have this much yarn left. This won't be enough. I know this. I will have another look, just to be sure that I don't have another skein of this cotton yarn somewhere in there. I mean, 2 weeks or so ago, I found 1 skein of this yarn somewhere in the apartment where it didn't belong, so...
A few moments later.
I actually found some. I forgot that I had this. So this will be just enough for me to finish the last crown stitch repeat. Now I'm gonna crochet the last 2 rounds. This was somewhat of a thriller, wasn't it? I really thought I was gonna play yarn chicken, but now I won't have to. Amazing! I wore my siren dress for the first time outside last weekend, and I didn't fix the elastic. I just tied it on both sides and that did the job, but it's not the best solution, of course. So I just sat down and wanted to fix this. I know why it doesn't really fit as good as I thought it would. The elastic on this side lost all its stretch. I will now just cut the yarn, sew it together, and then do the other option where you have some elastic thread and do slip stitches on the inside in every half double crochet. That should do the job, so we'll be doing that. I shouldn't have used such an old elastic. I got this from my friend's grandma. It was in her stash. I had this lying around, thought I'd use it, and I got at least 1 wear of it. So let me fix it, and then I can finally do some review shots, and we'll see each other in the outro.
I am waiting for a bus at the end of the night, under street lamp, bed face flamed by the light.
I'm really proud of my very first bigger crochet garment. You may have guessed this, but I was a little bit overwhelmed here and there, just due to my lack of crochet experience actually. I'm happy with this dress. It fits me really good, and I'm, like I said, very proud of me to pull this through. The video tutorials provided with the pattern were so helpful. They were the real MVPs. If there would have not been these video tutorials, I'm not sure if I would be able to have achieved this. And the written pattern itself can be a little bit overwhelming just because every single step is listed as a step. This may sound weird for me to complain about it, not really complain, but by the end you have so many steps and it just feels like this will never end. I know that this is the best possible way to write this pattern, in my opinion as well. So just if you're interested in this pattern, take your time with it and read everything carefully. There are also a few pictures in this pattern which are very, very helpful. This dress is really beautiful. I already wore it twice outside. This was actually really fun. I'm glad I found this pattern on my For You page on Instagram, and I'm glad I gave it a try. I've grown a little bit, as you should with every project, and I really hope you enjoyed watching me take this journey. If you did, maybe consider liking and subscribing to my channel. I would really appreciate it, and I really hope to see you in my next video. Bye!